The first animation I made was in 2010, and I did the entire thing beginning to end by myself, and I was basically just like traumatized by having to do so much drawing of my own, drawing each hand, each gesture. So for these animations that I showed, they were a process of working over years, especially the last one I showed before the war. I made it over a period of 2 to 3 years. So it was something that I did in between other projects, exhibitions, commissions, etc. And for me, part of what was really important was working with animators and an animation studio, and also having help to draw the work. Part of my research process involves looking at it's like visual research as well as historical research. So looking at other images that inspire me, like, so for example, when I realized I wanted to work with linoleum cuts, I then looked a lot at the different histories of linoleum printing, including posters made for the Black Panther movement, the Dibuka period in Europe in the 1920s. So thinking about all of these different other times and ways that the medium has been explored helps me understand how I can move it forward and what I might want to say differently. I think a lot of what we think of as difficult or controversial imagery also changes over time. So we may be in a moment where certain images feel like they are particularly difficult to deal with, but in other moments and cultures, sometimes, like for example, especially in relation to death and rituals around death, like people would keep elements that are connected to a deceased person with them, and for me, one of the reasons I'm thinking also about skulls and skeletons, as you see in the work, is I'm also thinking about how much we're learning through new technology and archaeological processes about people that came before us and even the earlier humans, and thinking about how scientists have often thought that burial, for example, is an intrinsically human thing, but we learned that even some of the other proto-human species also had some of those rituals that we think of as human. So it kind of expands the thinking around who we are and our lineage.